Mm. Oh boy. Good evening, all. Good evening, and welcome to the class. Good evening.
Don't forget when you.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening, family. Good evening. It's always fun to be home with all of you, honestly. In fact, if I can do this the rest of my life, God help me, I will do it. I'm always very excited to be here. So thank you for coming. And as I always say, um, there's just no way you will spend 45 minutes to an hour once a week learning and growing in the space of health and wellness. It's just not possible for your life to be like the person who does not have this information. It's not possible. Today, I had a conversation with an 83-year-old client of ours, and he's just tired of all effort he's putting through. It's just not working. And he remembers when he was in his 30s and 40s, anything he does work. But now, no matter what he does, it just takes forever before something will correct. And I told him, I said, sir, um, don't give up, because why he should not give up is simple. Number one is that your expiration date, I believe, is fixed and written by God. I personally don't believe that one can be altered. However, while we are waiting for the expiration date, what are we doing to make sure that we don't go out in pain, we don't go out in misery, we don't go out dependent on people, we don't go
What
out,
is wrong with
you
you?
know, like that. So I
So
just gave
must you
him a
run
little
like that?
word of encouragement. The reason I'm
Must you run
sharing
like
that
that? Is it not
is that he said to me, Dr.
you
Susan,
finished?
how I wish I knew you earlier. I will not
Hold on,
be
open
here.
Please, can
I'm
you
going
mute
to
your
mute
mic if you're not speaking?
mute out everybody.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, by the way, welcome everybody. Welcome to the class. So the person, he's a AVM, says he wish he started earlier. Now, why I started with that story is that you have started early. You, from this lecture, you now know the medicinal value of something as simple as water. Something as simple as water, it changes the equation. I know that someone will say, yes, water doctor, she has come. But something as simple as water changes the date of admission and your date of misery when the misery starts. Because some people will be misery for a long time before they go. Just something as simple as water. Number one, it makes your body not so toxic and inflamed. Cancers cannot grow there. Something as simple as water, the food you're eating, for it to see road and get to cells and where it needs to work, is the water. Something as simple as water, it lubricates your joint. So all this joint pain, knee pain, all this kind of pain, if you were lubricating earlier on, okay, it will also help to lubricate. All this pile constipation and bloating, if you form the habit, it will now come down. So you're like, oh, okay, something so simple as water. For me, it just shows that God is very near. God is in the simplest thing around to keep us healthy. Now, I use that as an introduction because today we are going to talk about a very simple but very profound topic. And the topic is on hidden sugars. And I'm going to give just a brief history of how hidden sugar started my way. There's no one thing you will know about me is that everything I talk on this platform is well researched because the internet is confusing everybody. I have a client who is having kidney stone and kidney something. They said the person should not be drinking water because I think they did a blood test and the sodium was a little bit low. So because of that, someone now has kidney stone and constipation, and they've told the person don't drink water. and the kidney stone continue. So there's a lot of confusion. So what we have done in Dr. Physique is that we don't just research everything thoroughly. We are mostly talking about things that we have seen on our Nigerian, African experience in our health and wellness clinic. So most of the examples I give, they're real life example, not you eat a strawberry and blueberry. We are talking about high fiber food from plantain. We are talking about having alkaline from okra. If you drink okra water every morning, you transform your health. These are the type of things we talk about, things that are direct to us, but we are seeing black and white is working in our clinic. This is what we bring to the platform. Like the water thing I told you, I have it documented. Too many cures just from water. Too many cures from people that did not drink that started drinking. So today we are going to talk about hidden sugars and how it impacts your health. So once again, welcome to the lecture. So we just get started. It's a short lecture by God's grace. They always ask me to record. It says pause recording, stop. I didn't know I'm even recording already. So this is good news. Pause recording, stop. Okay, maybe someone is recording for me. I don't know. This is good news. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm going to share my screen now. Share screen. Okay, hang on. Oops, I did it again. Alrighty. Okay. All right. Okay, I have to mute again. Good evening, Ma. It's good to see you. All right, let me mute one last time because I'm still getting some interference. Mute on, yes. Okay, so good evening all, and once again, welcome to this class. My name is Dr. Susan. My passion is in preventive medicine. I don't want anybody to be sick. In fact, there's a small, I'm always working on different books. You people should ask me, when are you publishing all these, your books you're talking about? My prayer is that, you know, I hope there's no doctor on this line because you're not going to be happy about it. My prayer is that hospital beds should be empty. It should be empty. Nobody must be sick and get admitted. You must not be sick. This is my prayer. And that's my whole life, is to see how can I keep people healthy. Now, where did I get my passion for keeping people healthy? You all know my background story. I grew up, my mom and dad, they were sickly. Some people have BP and they're still going to work, but there's one BP, you have your headache, you'll be down and everything. My mom's sugar really affected her. And to God be the glory, when I found a way for them to get better and get well, I now said, you know what? It will never happen to my parent. They can go anytime they want to go, whenever God has kept for them to go. But they must not go from misery and wheelchair and blindness and amputation. We don't want that for anybody. So once I got my parents well, I now said, you know what? I'm going to use the rest of my life to teach preventive medicine to make sure that nobody is in that situation. So this is what we are doing. So once again, my name is Dr. Susana. My background is in preventive and promotional medicine. I also have a background in lifestyle medicine, which is the program I did. I'm saying this because there are so many people that are joining newly. So it's not like before, only family members were on the phone, but now we have bigger family. So I have to give like a minor introduction. So once again, we want to talk about hidden sugars. So why are we talking about hidden sugar? Number one, sugar is good. Sugar is what? Good. So that is it. So sugar is good. So someone is like, okay, if sugar is good, why are we here? Let me just hang up. Please just bear with me. Sugar has value. Without sugar, you can't even sit up or stand up. In fact, your cells need sugar to make energy for you to even be able to open your eyelid like this and look at somebody and close it. Your cells need sugar for you to be able to jump up and sit down. Your cells need sugar for every single metabolic activity. Okay? So that is established. Sugar is important for health. So I think I am very clear on that fact. Sugar is important for health. So what is the problem? The problem is that the way the world has changed. So let's say highest amount of sugar that we are supposed to be taking, maybe you take 2 cubes in the morning, directly or indirectly. I'll explain what I mean. 2 cubes in the afternoon, and then 2 cubes in the night, directly or indirectly. That is 6 cubes of sugar, maybe 7. Okay. Now, if you take those 6 to 7 cubes of sugar, 6 to 7 cubes of sugar, I think ORT used to take 5, 6 cubes of sugar, 6 to 7. At that time, when they established that 6 to 7 cubes of sugar will not hurt you, that time we used to trek to church, we used to walk to the market, we were farmers, hunters, and gatherers. We were busy. There was nothing like sedentary lifestyle. You understand? We needed that amount of sugar. When I say directly or indirectly, is that either you take 6 cubes of sugar and take it directly, or you obtain it from either your rice, your carbohydrate, whatever. But averagely 6 cubes of sugar amount thereabout. No problem. Remember, I started by saying sugar is good and we need it. Now, what happened? Fast forward a bit. People realize that sugar is selling. I'll give you the history of Coca-Cola, Coke. Coke, a bottle of Coke has about 12 to 17 cubes of sugar, right? But is the leader of hidden sugar. So I always give this example. If you come to my house and I give you a cup of tea and I'll tell you, would you like some sugar? You said, no, I don't take sugar. I said, take small now. You now take 2 or 3 cubes to impress me. But at the same time, I'll give you a bottle of Coke. You will pour it in a glass and drink it. You just drank 17 cubes of sugar because you cannot see it. But just to use your koro hand and koro eye and put this sugar inside the tea, you refuse to. Can you see that picture? So you won't put 2 cubes of sugar in your thing or 3. You won't put 4. If God forbid if I want to put 7. But you can drink a bottle of Coke, 2 bottles of Coke, 3 bottles of Coke. So this is the meaning of hidden sugar. So sugar hides in plain sight. So nobody labels Coke um, 17 cubes of sugar. Nobody will drink it. They call it Coke. You drink it because you did not spell out the sugar. Okay. Now that is the Coke. So eventually people realize that, so when people don't know that sugar is black and white like this, they will keep eating the sugar. So different versions and names of sugar started filling up the market. So before you know it, even if you go to a restaurant now and you say you want pineapple juice, if you go to that restaurant 2 or 3 times and the pineapple juice tastes the same, they have added sugar. Please come and quote me, because pineapple is seasonal. There's no way the pineapple can taste the same way every single beginning of the year, end of the year from the same restaurant. Most restaurants, maybe not all, most add sugar to their pineapple juice. They add sugar to their watermelon juice. they add sugar to their this thing. Orange juice, they add sugar. Why do they add sugar? Because it's what now hidden sugar is hidden. Okay. So back to my a quick explanation. What is the problem with sugar? Sure, I said sugar is good. A certain amount of sugar is okay with your body. However, when sugar is hidden and you take more than your body can handle, that same sugar becomes a poison and the genesis of every disease almost that is known to mankind. Every disease. So, because the genesis of all disease is inflammation. So, most sugar, when you start taking too much sugar, inflammation starts and everything starts going bad. Now, hang on 1 second. Let me adjust the Zoom stuff because I'm getting some small noise in the background. I don't know. Oh, let's see. Hold on. Okay. Okay. All right. So now I want it loud and I want you to have that introduction perfectly. Okay. Now that we have that introduction, now what do we do? Okay. I'm going to enter the presentation properly now. Okay. So here's what the presentation says. It says that in today's fast-paced world, sugar is almost an unavoidable part of our daily diet. Okay, now you find sugars in things like candies, pastries, soda, etc. You see it. Excessive and unnoticed consumption. That is why we are here, because some people don't know that when you eat potatoes, you're eating sugar. So I'm coming to that part in a minute, so that you can eat potato, but you have to be mindful of how many cubes of sugar did I get from that potato. That is where we are heading to. So sugar as a food is good, but when you pass your limit, that same sugar that was supposed to give you energy becomes a poison and becomes the genesis for all kinds of disease, from fat storage to obesity to every single thing. Now, look at it here. What is even sugar? Sugar is just carbohydrate. So in the hospital, when you hear the word sugar, it's not sugar cubes only. When you hear sugar, switch the word to carbohydrates, because sugar are carbohydrates and their main work, as I said, was to break down into energy. I said you cannot even open your eye and close without the help of sugar. So there's a certain amount of sugar that is required in the body. Even on your blood, when you do blood testing, do you understand? When you do blood test, if you see sugar, maybe anything less than 7, okay, you can be happy. Or if you're using the other version of calculation, if it is 70 to 90, but once it's over 100, then you should start worrying, okay? So some carbohydrate, okay, cause glucose spike. We will talk about that. This is the sugar that you all know and run away from. But this is not even a problem, because you know what? You will not use your hand and pack these things inside your mouth. It's the
Hello,
hidden
doctor.
sugar that,
Hello,
yes,
doctor. Good
yes,
evening.
sir.
Sorry, we are not seeing your presentation. Are you showing any slide?
Yes, I'm showing.
No, you
We
are
are
not
not
showing.
seeing.
Oh, forgive me.
Yeah, thank
Th-
you.
Thank you so much. I did play share. So all this one is not been showing, right?
Not,
Nothing has
Hey,
been showing.
I don't finish myself with that. I'm so sorry, please. Okay, let's start all over. I don't know. Let's see. Hang on. It says share screen. Start broadcasting. Okay. I hope it's starting to show now. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we
Not
can.
yet.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you for taking my attention to that. Okay, so all this while I was busy talking about hidden sugar, but at least I'm sure you understood my introduction. Okay, all right. Now let's get to the body of the presentation. Okay, all right. So I was trying to show you that this is the kind of sugar that you're afraid of, but you shouldn't be afraid of this one. Do you know why? You will not be able to take your hand and put 16 cubes of sugar in anything and it's there. You won't do it. But this is the sugar that you're actually afraid of. But don't be afraid of this sugar. Okay. There's a WHO recommendation for sugar when sugar was sugar. But right now, this WHO recommendation, WHO is actually influenced even by farmers. So they have to, if WHO says no more sugar, then farmers will go and lobby WHO. It's a body that when their pronouncement is very important. It's saying that direct or indirectly, about 6 teaspoons of sugar per day will not kill an adult. Okay? 6 cubes. But still, nobody wants to put those 6 cubes in their food. Okay? You will not put it. Okay, so let's go to why we are here. We are here because of what? Hidden sugars. So here it is. Hidden sugars are added sugars that are not immediately obvious on your product's ingredient. They have different names, and we will go straight to the names. So this is what is going on now. There are over 60 names, not one, not two. Nobody's saying sugar again. They have 60 names used for food, for sugar in the food industry, even including sugar-free. Okay, one thing I used to ask people, when you put something in your mouth, it says sugar-free. So what is sweet in your mouth? Okay, so in a best case, it will be saccharin or some cancer-causing agent. So better you even take the sugar. They say sugar-free. Then the one that I want everybody to know is this one. No added sugar. Okay, fine. If I carry pineapple juice, which I know that a glass of pineapple juice is about 17 cubes of sugar or so, a big glass of pineapple juice. Now, and I now put there, no sugar added. It's just to sell my market. So anytime you say no sugar added means that that food comes naturally sweetened. I even saw on Quaker Oats, no sugar added. Quaker Oats is all carbohydrate, even though it has a lot of fiber. Why do you put no sugar added? So people get victimized, and I want everybody to know this trick. Anytime you see no sugar added, if you taste it inside your mouth and it's sweet, you need to start asking questions. So here are the 60 names of sugar that they don't want you to know because they don't want to spell out sugar. Number 1, they'll say syrup. Number 2, they'll say fruit juice. Number 3, cane juice. Sugar cane. If you boil sugar cane, you bring out sugar. So they'll just say cane sugar, but it's sugar, beet sugar, brown rice sugar, malt, molasses, cane syrup, brown rice syrup, the biggest one on earth, honey. Let me talk about honey. Honey is 100% sugar, but it's sugar with medicine. So the difference between honey and white sugar is that white sugar does not have medicine inside it. It's just the sugar. But honey is sugar, but comes with medicine. So if you say, oh, I'm eating honey, okay, and you're a diabetic, your sugar will go up, but you also get the medicine. So honey is good for people, don't get me wrong. But if you have a medical condition that does not allow sugar, then you're not allowed honey. Okay? the nectars, the caramel, the corn sweetener, then high fructose corn syrup. You will see it. Just pick any label in your house today. You see high fructose corn syrup, corn sweetener. They won't say sugar. What is corn sweetener? Sugar. What is caramel? Oh, I had caramel ice cream. Why didn't you say I had sugar ice cream? Because nobody wants to hear sugar. Sugar has become a bad thing, but sugar is not really bad. It's just excess sugar becomes a disease. So sources of sugar that you may not be aware of. Breakfast cereal. Most of the breakfast cereal contain loads of sugar. Flavored yogurt, any yogurt that has flavor, strawberry yogurt, vanilla yogurt, if you put it in your mouth and it's sweet, it's sugar. So you'll be getting the health benefit of the yogurt, but guess what? If you're avoiding sugar, then sugar is in the yogurt. Energy drinks. Energy drinks have the license, at least I have a bit of NAFDAC background, to put as much sugar as possible inside it. In fact, I don't believe working in regulations, there's even a limit to how much sugar you can put inside your product. You can put any amount. There's no cutoff mark. No cutoff mark. Put until you cause headache. No cutoff. So energy drink, they have a way of adding caffeine, sugar, stimulants, and everything. When you drink, you say, yes, this is Red Bull and Guinness. Hidden sugar. Then ketchup, things like ketchup, barbecue sauce, is all sugar. Bread is sugar now, even if it's sugar-free bread has sugar. Please quote me. You get some bread in the supermarket. They say sugar-free bread, or they'll say no sugar added. It's pure sugar. Why? Because it's made from refined flour, and the flour is actually carbohydrate. And we read before that carbohydrate is sugar. Ready to eat food, frozen food, protein bars, smoothies, especially a hair, another one that is deceiving a lot of people. You see the product, it say fat free. How will it be fat free? You get the product, it's heavy carbohydrate, and you know that the carbohydrate is going to turn into fat, but it's written fat free. So be aware of that. So cereal, jam, when you add small 1 tablespoon of jam on your bread, 12 grams of sugar has entered. This small yogurt, 17 grams of sugar. Even ketchup, 2 teaspoons of ketchup, 8 grams of sugar. So it's like, oh, I love ketchup, pour it on. You're drinking sugar. Who will know that ketchup is all sugar? It's all sugar. All this breakfast cereal, 16 grams of sugar, oatmeal, sugar, salad dressing, especially that one that tastes a little bit sugar. Which one is this? Fruit in a can, sugar, etc. So sugar is hidden everywhere, not just in a bottle of Coke. Common items and their sugar content. Okay, so let's do a small fun homework here. Okay, so this is based on 8 ounces. Orange juice contains 21 grams of sugar. That means about 5 cubes of sugar. Why am I telling you about orange juice? It's better to eat your orange whole, because at least the fiber will block some of that sugar. So when you love orange juice, give me 3 cups, 4 cups. By the time you do the 4th cup, you've taken your 20 cubes of sugar. So don't overdo it. Like I said, sugar is good, especially sugar from fruit. You can at least manage those ones. My biggest problem is those hidden ones, the artificial one, the high fructose. But just the whole lecture of Dr. Susan is about awareness. So that if you didn't want to take sugar, you didn't know that sugar is in orange juice, you can drink like 12 buckets. But now you know. So you drink 1 or 2 and be cautious. Apple juice also contains, if they juice, that about 6 cubes of sugar. Grape contains 36. Pineapple juice, 25 grams, 6 cubes of sugar. Cranberry, watermelon, 17 grams, 4 cubes of sugar. So what are we saying? These are called hidden healthy sugar. This sugar, your body can process it a little bit better and get rid of it for you, these ones. But it's also just good that you know that these products, especially if it is juice, but if you eat it directly, the fiber will halve the sugar for you. For example, if you take a whole orange, instead of 5 cubes of sugar, you might end up with 1 or 2, like that. So if you want to reduce sugar, add the fiber and chew it as a fruit. But even if you want to drink the juice, I want you to drink knowing, not to be surprised. Okay, so how does sugar affect your body? There's something I want us to know. There's something called glycemic index. Please, can you repeat? Glycemic index, GI, glycemic index. So there's something called high glycemic index food and low glycemic index food. High glycemic index food keeps you sick, white rice. That's why as soon as somebody has cholesterol or diabetes, doctors will start saying, oh, don't eat white rice, don't eat potato, don't eat watermelon, like that, you know. But low glycemic index food, chickpeas, beans, some spaghetti, carrot are there. So just forget about this chart. Just know that there's something called high glycemic index and low glycemic index. We can talk about that another time. So what is the impact of sugar on the body? Unfortunately, it accelerates aging. It will just dry you up. I don't know if you remember in the olden days, they'll say, don't eat too much sugar. It will dry you up. It messes you up health-wise, okay? It says here that 1 out of 11 people in the world will have diabetes. So for every 11 person that pass by, just start knowing that at least one of them is going to end up, hang on, a diabetic. Hang on, let me mute again. 1 second, mute all. Yes. Okie dokie. Uh-huh. I'm almost there. Okay. Hang on. Okay. Okay. So 1 out of 11 people may end up a diabetic. It's unbelievable. 46% of people with diabetes are undiagnosed. So no, is the primary cause of this is because of the hidden sugar. Okay, so diabetes is becoming rampant and is growing every single day. Okay, as we evolve, we are developing more sweet tooth. Okay, now impact of hidden sugar. You'll be gaining weight. You don't know why. You think you're eating healthy. You would have developed diabetes and you don't even know. You have had high blood pressure, you won't even know. It damages your liver. Okay? Tooth decay. Almost everybody with tooth issue, they have sweet tooth. Or they don't brush their teeth at night after eating carbohydrate like rice, beer, wine, and all those alcohol. If you drink alcohol or eat high starchy food and you didn't brush your teeth, remember starch is sugar, so it would mess up your teeth. Sugar overload causes depression because it increases your cortisol levels and you will not be happy in your body. Cavities, etc. Okay, remember I started by saying that sugar is good. However, when you pass your mark, that good sugar becomes a poison. So that is why we have to reduce how much sugar we take. But more so, the importance of this lecture is that there are things I'm going to list in a bit that when you eat it, you know that you've taken your sugar. So tooth decay, I've said cancer risk, mood swings, fatigue. When you're tired, go on a sugar detox. If you're too tired, go on a sugar detox. So you just get your health back. So how do you avoid it? Start reading the labels. Go to your house today, you'll be shocked. You will not see sugar. You see syrup, fructose, all these type of names. Cook your food at home because market. See, things are hard. People are trying to sell their market. Somebody's cooking beans, okay, and the person will pour 1 pack of sugar inside the beans. No problem. They cook yam so that you can eat it. They put 1 pack of sugar. You're like, Kai, their food is very delicious. Which kind of Benue yam is this one? Not knowing that they pour one. In fact, one of my friends, I believe that she might be on the line. I hope she will not finish me. When she told me that people cook yam and put sugar inside, I was so shocked. I've never even heard of such a thing before. Like, I didn't know. In the US, when they're cooking potato and they call it candied yams, they put sugar. But I didn't know it was happening in Nigeria that people will now put sugar inside yam and boil it. It's called what? Hidden sugar. So if you want to eat from your house, you cannot trust outside food again. If it is too sweet, then there's hidden sugar. Choose whole food. Beware of healthy marketing. Healthy marketing is killing the industry. You see something, you to say low fat, gluten free, natural. What is natural? You understand what is natural? It's a different lecture. Um, Limit sugary drinks, sodas, etc., etc. So when in doubt, drink your water. You can still drink fresh juice versus flavored or versus fruit flavored snacks or fruit flavored, the artificial one. Homemade sauces, you can make your sauce and add your sugar by yourself and dressing by yourself. At least you can know how the damage you're doing and etc. But we feel bad to add sugar to our food. Now, before I conclude with our final slide and everything, there's something I want to quickly talk about, which is this. Remember, the topic is shocking hidden sugars and its health impact. For those of you that joined a little late, I know I've repeated this 3 or 4 times. I did say that sugar is good. I now added that with time, our activity does not match even the sugar that we were taking. So the sugar is now loading up in the bloodstream. Okay. Then on top of that, the industries have now decided that, you know what, we are going to sell sugar to them, but they will not know. We cited example of Coca-Cola, where if you come to my house, I can give you a cup of tea and I'll give you sugar. You will not like to add more than 2-3 cubes of sugar. But if I give you a bottle of Coke or Sprite that contains 10 to 17 cubes of sugar, depending on the size, you will finish it. And so people now realize that, hidden sugar is good. Nobody's talking. So we are going to overdo this hidden sugar for everybody. Now, what breaks my heart and makes me really sad in the spirit, really, is that there are people that are victimized by that. If they knew that this thing they're taking had that much sugar that will cause a lot of diseases, autoimmune disorder, headache, bloating, pile, BP, sugar issue, cancers, abdominal obesity, knee pain, back pain, your bones will be decaying, spondylosis, tooth decay, depression. If they knew and they spell out black and white, this is sugar, they will not be taking it. So that is on the one part. So that is why we did today's lecture, to just, it's a short lecture just to let you know that hidden sugars are hiding in plain sight. Just start paying attention to your labels and know that when you pass your mark, that sugar becomes something that your body cannot accept. Now, what can you do to block sugar as you go home today? This is one of the best way to block sugar. Remember I said that fruit juice will spike sugar instantly, etc. And I also said that if you take it with fiber, that sugar will be half. So automatically, the way you eat now is like this. For our cultural food, we are mostly given, let's say, rice and stew and meat and vegetable, for example. So it means that unlike before, when I was a kid, if you dare touch your meat and finish your soup, before your rice or swallow, you're a bad child. You did, in fact, they will tell you lack of home training. You can't try it. Definitely not when I was growing up. But that same thing is now what is going to save your life today. Anytime they bring food to you, go for your fibers, go for the vegetable. The intention is to be blocking the sugar, because if you now go for vegetable and protein, your body is what you put in your body first. Your body will be getting ready to absorb. So you now put the fiber, you now put the protein, and then by the time you even come with the swallow or the rice, you will already be full, because fiber fills you up very fast and it's healthy and it's going to sweep your intestine. It's going to sweep your highway for you. Your highway means between your mouth and your anus. It's going to clean it. As it's cleaning, the protein is coming before the carbohydrate. So food order. If you sit down, don't take the Coke or the juice and do gum 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 before you start eating. So it's fiber, protein, and then carbohydrate. Fiber, protein, and then carbohydrate. Two, better you chew your fruits and vegetable than drink it. Because if you chew your fruit and vegetable, you will actually have less of the sugar into your bloodstream. Three, and is that be aware of some of the hidden sugars that I have told you about. Fourth and lastly, when I say, oh, sir, ma, you need to reduce your carbohydrate, they say, oh, Dr. Susan, I don't even eat sugar. I said, ma, there's nobody on earth that doesn't eat sugar. I've not eaten sugar for 2 years. I said, ma, what did you eat yesterday? In the morning, I had small rice, small rice. What did you have for lunch? Ma, I had small potato. Okay, and in the evening, what did you have? I had small yam chips. Please, you've just had sugar from morning till night, because carbohydrate is the name of sugar. All your carbohydrate convert to sugar. Number two on the food group, when people eat these beans, when I was growing up, I thought beans was protein. So when I eat beans, I'll look for either gari or yam or pap to balance it. They used to call it balanced meal. You can even carry the gari, put in beans, and eat it very well. But I actually, when I grew up in the US. When I was in school, I think it was in biochemistry, they ask what this is beans. I did not even read it. I put protein. I got one wrong. I went to my teacher. I said, sir, why do you score this one wrong? He says, did you read it? And I look at the molecular structure and I realize that beans is actually more of a complex carbohydrate. So it means that for every 1 cup of beans, you get 120 grams of carbohydrates and only 40 grams of protein. So it means that the carbohydrate in beans is actually higher than the protein. But we don't remember that. So what I want to teach you this night is that beans on its own is already balanced, because it already has carbohydrate and a little bit of protein component. But if you had to balance it out, you need to eat it with either fish or egg or chicken. to bring up the protein content. So switch that one as one of the hidden sugars that lots of. Then someone say, hey, what of akara and moi moi? Akara and moi moi is also carbohydrate with a bit of protein. A lot of people don't know that. Now, what of plantain? Plantain is carbohydrate with a lot of fiber. So if you eat beans and plantain, assuming it's unripe plantain, it means it's a kind of a low carbohydrate because the carbohydrate in beans is actually a complex carbohydrate. So it doesn't enter your bloodstream very, very fast. Okay. Then another mistake that I see a lot of people do is, I've talked about the yam, the potato, just knowing that if you have one serving a day, you've had carbohydrate. Then the second one is the beans mistake. Then the third one I see a lot of people do is juicing mistake. And the fourth one I see a lot of my clients do is not knowing that honey is sugar. So I tell them in the clinic, honey is sugar. You can take it sparingly, but not because it's honey. I had a reverend father who became a full-blown diabetic because somebody gave him a very medicinal honey, and it was a keg. And he was there in January. By February, when he came, the sugar level was 21. Why? So we now looked at it and we said, what's going on? He said, it might be the honey. I said, why are you taking honey? He said he finished a keg between when he left, he came. He was drinking it, licking it, didn't know. So you can take honey, but you have to take honey sparingly, okay? What else did I miss out? Groundnut. I don't know why, but groundnut spike all of my clients' sugar level. I want to say all because we have a diabetic clinic and we test it. All of them, groundnut spikes it. So if groundnut is good for your body, eat it. But better you eat sparingly because people will bring a bottle of groundnut today to the house. When they wake up tomorrow, they will be asking, wasn't there groundnut in this house? They have finished it. So you can eat groundnut, but don't finish the whole bottle because groundnut has one thing inside it. Once you just open the bottle, until you finish it, the thing will not rest. So, and it's really messing up people's health. It spikes sugar. What else do I want to tell you about sugar? Is that, everybody's afraid of cancer. You shouldn't be afraid of anything because you have dominion over everything. But I'll tell you that cancer does not survive without sugar. So if you know that you will never have cancer in your life, then sugar must be your enemy. Like men, all the men on the line, with age, your prostate will enlarge. But there are two things that I've observed consistently with men. Men that have normal, benign, enlarged prostate versus men that have prostate cancer. Most of those prostate cancer men, they did not like drinking water. They eat at night. They had an unhealthy lifestyle. So instead of the prostate to enlarge in a natural way, and you just take one tablet, the thing goes, it will now enlarge in a form of a cancer. So healthy living will now mess up what is just a natural enlargement for men, etc. So this sugar issue is that sugar is good, as I've been saying, but when you pass your level, it will blind your eyes. I know a man who sat down and he's already a diabetic, but when you have diabetes, sugar calls your name. I don't even understand. So he stood up and he took like a Coke. He drank it. After drinking it, he just liked sugar. He just packed some sugar, put it in his mouth and sat down. And he said, this NEPA, why is NEPA always taking light? Everybody's looking at him like he has mental issue. He had instant retinal detachment. I've never heard this one before until this person that I know in person. The retina, there's something called retinal detachment. He just went blind. I'm sure the sugar did not even know what to do with his body again. So high sugar in your body can cause you blindness, cause you amputation, cause you a lot of things. So the summary and conclusion is that, well, we will still have sugar small, but at least we will be cautious, and we will also know that sugar can take your dear life and cut your life in half by causing you sickness. Okay, Dr. Physique is not complete in its presentation without telling you that you should still pay attention to your rest as medicine. You have to sleep. Even if you avoid all the sugar in the world, if you're not sleeping, you're not healing. So sleep. Pay attention to your energy level. Your body will tell you what is good for you. Even as I'm talking badly about sugar, we all have different sugar body requirements. I know somebody that can take 10 cubes of sugar and the person is not a diabetic. A few. You know, there's a 80-20 rule in life. But we are the 80%. So you will not say, oh, because what if you're not among the 20% or the 10% or the 5% that can take unlimited sugar? Nothing will happen. But then the majority, you will take this sugar and something will happen. So let's proceed with caution. If sugar is good for your body, take it. But take a look. If you see one of these things that I've mentioned, run for your dear life. Drink water as medicine. I know somebody who used only water to reverse diabetes. The person never used to drink water, just kept drinking water, and the sugar level started normalizing. And for some reason, the sugar level disappeared from drinking water. Now, your nutrition, we've talked about in terms of sugar, chew your fruit. Green food does not. One of the things you must know today, sorry, I almost forgot. When you eat salad, people are like, oh, Dr. Susan, I did not have carbohydrate today. I only have salad. Are you kidding me? Salad is all carbohydrate. All. Go and Google it before you. It's all carbohydrate. So you have to have that salad with either chicken, fish, or egg for it to be balanced. Salad is all carbohydrate, but it's a healthy carbohydrate with a lot of medicine and a lot of fiber. So it's a carbohydrate that does not overly affect your sugar level. But don't say salad is not carbohydrate. It's carbohydrate. So I want you to know that you can do your Google search. As I said before, this is our clinic practice that I'm sharing here. So it's carbohydrate. So you can't just eat plain salad. Most Nigerians, what we are suffering from is that our protein is not complete. We've done a lecture on protein. So you exercise and you will detox your body. So as I said before, is a holistic approach to health. So thank you so much for your time. I know for a fact that this message will help somebody, at least be cautious. Maybe today's message is not for you. Who knows? Maybe it's for you. But, we just keep teaching. This is a take home for you to just have as a visual image. I hope you can see that. You see the can of Coke. Oh, let me even zoom it very well. Sorry, if I'm zooming, it's not showing, but see the Coke, okay? It has that much sugar. This is orange. It has that much sugar. Let me go to the ones that corn has sugar also. See it? Apple has sugar. Everything has sugar. For the most part, everything has sugar. Strawberry has a little sugar, only 2 cubes. Watermelon has some sugar, etc. So all these things have sugar, okay? Alrighty. Oh my God, did you see this ice cream? Haagen-Dazs ice cream, it's all sugar, okay? All right. If you eat this cereal, this particular cereal, it also has plenty sugar inside of it. Special K. All of them. There's nothing, almost nothing without sugar. So everything has sugar. So that being said, thank you so much for your time, and God bless you always. I'm done. So how can we get protein? You get protein from fish, you get protein from chicken, you get protein. You can actually get protein from some, like spinach has protein also. So they're very good sources of protein. So that's how you get protein. All right. So thank you so much for your time. And if you have any question, I will take it. Someone said, thank you so much, Dr. Susan. I believe beans to be protein all my life. Welcome to my club. I believe the same way. Beans has both protein and carbohydrate, but the carbohydrate is higher. How can one get protein? I've listed it. How do I detox from sugar? So you can do celery juice and cucumber juice for like 1 or 2 days, up to 12 hours. You just keep drinking. It will help you with a lot of sugar detox. Okay. Another way to do sugar detox, you can have like in Dr. Physique, we sell something called sugar crusher. Basically is a combination of king of bitters, bitter leaf, and I think Garcinia, which is um these bitter cola stuff like that. Or you can take bitter leaf drink. It still helps with sugar reduction. What do you say about sugar content in Greek yogurt? If it tastes sweet, it means they put too much. But a lot of Greek yogurt is actually the best yogurt. But if it's sweet, it means they have added sugar, and they don't declare the amount of sugar. So for me, I just buy the unsweetened Greek yogurt and I put my honey and sugar if I must put, which I will not put. But better you buy unsweetened, then add your sugar. Someone say, how about date? Date is a better version of sugar. Please, is it possible to get past records of seminars? The answer is yes. Wow, thank you so much, Ma. It's been very educative. Please, Ma, can you mention fibers that are readily available in Africa? All vegetables have fiber. Okra has fiber. Plantain is the king of fiber. Plantain has a lot of fiber. Like I said, ugu, um, um, for me, plantain is like the king of fiber. It has a lot of fiber unknown to everybody. Okay, I'll make a list of high fiber food and drop here. But for me, if I'm in a hurry, I do flaxseed. They sell it in all the markets. I grind it and add it to whatever I will take. Please, Ma, can you enlighten us on the impact of sugar on cells? Okay. So when you have sugar to your cells, it's supposed to give you energy. But when the sugar is too much on your cell, it can cause the cell to be inflamed. So once the cells are inflamed, you have what they call sugar resistant. That means even the insulin cannot open your cell for sugar to enter. So sugar will go up. When your cells are inflamed, it can divide into cancer cells. When sugar is too much on your cell, it can actually kill your cell from dehydration, because the cell contains, it needs a certain amount of things. So if too much of it enter, it can kill your cells. So sugar is not very good for the cells, except when you do a blood level, like you test your sugar, it's less than 7, that amount of sugar your body can manage. All right. We can't see your screen. Okay, we've passed that level. So thank you so much. Any verbal questions before we drop?
Hello, good evening, doctor.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much for the lecture. Very nice
Thank you,
one.
sir. Thank
Yeah,
you.
throughout the lecture, you kept talking about your body requirement for
Yes,
sugar.
sir.
So how do you know your body requirement for sugar? Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so there's something called hold on 1 second, okay? Let me just grab. Okay, sir. Sorry about that. Um, First of all, even without going through the numbers, okay, let me stop sharing. Even without going through the numbers, okay, according to WHO, some nutrition companies and stuff, they have a direct number. So, like for people in our fat loss, we have a class every Monday. It's called the fat loss class. We actually use your height, your weight, and then we calculate. It's very unique to everybody. I don't know if you understand. So it's something that can be calculated for you. So it's not a general one number fit all. I don't know if you understand my question. So it can actually be calculated. So, but I think more than even answering that question, I think what I want us to walk away with is on this subject is sugar that is hidden in plain sight. Because you know what, even if you know the sugar requirement in your body, or sugar, the amount of sugar, whether your body needs 120 grams of sugar or 400 grams of sugar or whatever grams of sugar, which can be calculated, because a midget does not have the same sugar requirement as a giant. I don't know if you understand. So I can't just spell out. So if you text me your height and your weight, I can calculate for you.
Okay, thank you very much. Does it have any relationship with body mass index?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
So
Good evening, ma.
Yes, good evening. It has a lot to do, but the bottom line is that you should 45% of whatever you eat. Okay, so if whatever you eat, about 45% of it, do you understand, can be carbohydrate. For people that are our weight loss class, we try to stay with less than about 200 grams. But it's very vague question. So just give me your thingy, I will calculate for you.
Okay. Hello, Dr.
Ma,
Susan.
thank you so much, Dr. Susan.
Hello.
Yes, I
My
can hear
name is
you. Go on.
Adekunle Idris.
Yeah. Thank you so very much, Dr. Susan.
Thank you.
I want to ask if one can replace carbohydrates with tofu.
With tofu?
Yeah.
Yes, I think you should if you have let me teach everybody about tofu. Please, if you have access to tofu, start eating it. Because tofu it's not supposed to be a carbohydrate replacement. Let me try to mute a bit. Let's see. Mute all. Okay. Tofu is a protein. It's a bean curd. So it's not like the body has the person just told me that I keep saying the body has a protein, a carbohydrate requirement. It can be calculated based on your BMI. But the general thing I want you to walk away with, whatever you eat, about 40% of it, 45% of it should be carbohydrate. But if you're looking at labels and everything, 200 grams of carbohydrate is okay for everybody. But we can calculate it to the letter, how much carbohydrate you need based on your lifestyle, based on your height, based on your weight. Now come to tofu. Tofu is like saying, can I replace carbohydrate with beans? Do you understand? Because tofu is a soy product. You understand? So your body needs carbohydrate. So you have to know how many grams of carbohydrate is in a plate of tofu. If you can get your 120 to 200 grams of carbohydrate from tofu, then you can replace it with carbohydrate. So that's how I'll answer that question.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, dear.
Okay, good evening, doctor.
Oga, you're here. How are you?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
for that wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
My question is very simple. You know, it's pretty difficult to run away from sugar generally. But what are those basic lifestyle practices that can keep, especially those who are not diabetic in nature, at least to keep away from, being endangered?
Okay, sir. The lifestyle practices that you can keep. So me, I believe in one program called Wash Away Your Sins. Sometimes we will run into sugar, but if I eat sugar
Yeah.
today, tomorrow I will do fasting. So number one, fasting will dry up your sugar. Fasting, especially water fasting, it will dry it up.
Okay.
It will just
Okay.
pull it from everywhere. It will get rid of it. So fasting is number one. Number
Okay.
two, if you exercise, you're burning sugar.
Okay.
So if you exercise, and how do you burn the sugar? Only when you break a sweat. So you can
Yeah.
go to sauna, break a sweat. That will also
Okay.
burn off sugar. Okay.
Okay.
Number three, don't put the sugar in your mouth. If you don't put it in your mouth, you will not need to burn it. Number
It's all
four,
right.
don't forget, sugar is not a poison until you have passed a certain level that the body cannot handle. If you do a test with the monitor, anytime it's above 7, 8, it means that even if you ate 100 grams or 500 grams of sugar, it means your body cannot handle it. You understand?
Mm.
Then you now
Yeah.
start reducing and reducing and reducing. So these are some of the things you can do. You can drink a lot of water. That too can also wash away some sugar. So those are some habits. Exercise,
All right.
drink water. Then I showed you, I gave you a trick on how to be blocking sugar permanently from Nigerian food. Start with
Mm.
protein and um, the protein and the fiber. If you have okra soup, finish the okra soup and the meat. Then you'll be looking
Mm.
for how to put in the gari. That is how you do it. Yes, sir. Okay.
What are
Thank
those of
you.
us who like pounded yam?
The soup first
You
and
come
then
again with pounded yam. We are not discussing pounded yam
Is
today
that
again.
right? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Well
Dr.
done.
Sandra, good
Sir,
evening, ma. Thank you
Susan.
so much, ma. Dr. Susan, thank you so much, ma.
Yes, sir.
You just did a revelation this night. All my life, I've believed that beans is protein.
Oh,
All
wow.
my life. So what you said this night is actually a revelation.
We thank God, sir.
However, my question is, so what is the best way to eat beans?
Okay, sir. So the best way to eat beans is to boil the beans and then eat it with on its own. But if you must eat it with anything, it has to be with protein and not with carbohydrate because it already has three. So, for example, if there's 4 grams of beans, 4 grams of protein, you have 12 grams of carbohydrate. If there's 40 grams of protein, you have 120. In fact, if anybody wants to do a
Wow.
Google search, just say nutrition facts beans. You can read
Wow.
this nutrition fact of beans that each beans that you have, you're doing about 120 grams of, for a cup of beans, you're doing 120 grams of carbohydrate. But the good
Wow.
news is that we now know. So that why I'm even told you is because people are using beans and pap, beans and yam, beans and you understand to wash it down. But it's scattering my plan, and I have to reveal this secret to everybody.
All right, ma. Thank
Yes,
you so
beans
much,
and
ma.
bread. Kai, ma, you said it well. That is the number one.
What
Yes.
of oats?
Oh,
Oats.
okay, let's talk about oat. Oat is, you know that oat is 100% carbohydrate,
Eh?
but because oat is 100% carbohydrate, but it has a lot of fiber. So the fiber in the oat reduces how fast the sugar rushes out of the oat to enter your bloodstream.
Mm.
Now, the problem with Nigerians like with us, in fact, with me and all of us, is that instead of us to eat oats as originally studied and recommended by white people that study the oats, we now carry that oat and then we grind it very well and turn it into a powder that is like a flour. So the fiber that was supposed to block the sugar does not block the sugar as well as if you had it as whole oat, as originally intended. Then, if you must have that oat because it also has a lot of medicinal value, then buy the oat and grind it by yourself. But if you have all this flour oats and it's even cheap, you will not think that, okay, if I buy oat in a can, it's very expensive. How can this whole thing be cheap like this? Then you should know that something has entered it. So I recommend everybody to buy your oat, blend it, but know that it will not behave the same way as if you ate it with this thing, with the shaft. Same thing goes for beans. For people that have diabetes, akara increases your sugar more than moi moi, and moi moi increases your sugar more than boiled beans. Why? Boiled beans comes with the fiber. Moi moi, you have ground it. Akara, you've refined it. And then now put it inside oil. So these small things, we picked it from our diabetic food clinic, from patients. So this is general observation. And I said before, everybody's body is different, but the majority will suffer from these things that I'm talking about. Thank you.
So, doctor, please, what can somebody swallow then?
Okay, so you can swallow, number one, you can swallow our Oga Madam to start with, but you can swallow Gary, but if anything Gary is good, it has a lot of fiber. You can swallow anything, but the thing is to know that you swallow with caution. You will start with your meat and vegetable, and then you now start your swallow. You can prepare your stomach before it comes. You understand? So you can still swallow your fufu, you can still swallow your pounded yam, you can swallow anything. Me, I will rather buy those grains and mix with cocoyam, and for me, everything I must get the medicinal value of stuff. So I just don't. What is killing Nigeria for swallow is wheat. Wheat is the worst swallow now based on studies. So wheat is not good. It's better you even do Gary. Someone
So
said
is,
Dr. Susan
so
Chai. Now wow.
is
Wait
Gary
till we
better
go.
than oats?
It's about the same. Just listen. Don't be afraid. You can eat both, but just be cautious and be aware. It's even better than the hidden sugar. And then you know what
Thank
else?
you very much, Doctor.
Yes,
Please,
ma.
what's your advice on multigrain bread?
Multigrain bread is still bread, but it's better than the refined white bread. So white bread. Multigrain is way better, especially if you make it by yourself. It's okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
You talked about sugar in honey.
Yes, sir.
I thought it's a safe honey. I'm calling from Umaya. You talked about honey, that there's sugar in honey, sugar. And my wife is I don't
That why I said that is because in our diabetic clinic, what we notice is that when our diabetics take honey, it increases their sugar.
Okay.
And then we have come to find out that honey
they
has
told
sugar.
us
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, they told us that the sugar in honey is like safer than the one in refined sugar, and so sometimes I drink it, and when I'm tensed up, because my wife is a beekeeper and she normally give me some quantity anytime she harvests honey. So sometimes I just open I drink it. I just open it
Sir,
and drink it and
honey
drink water and that.
is medicine. and it heals. Even if you have wound on the outside, put honey, it will
Yeah,
be
honey.
going. What we are saying is that if you have a medical condition that says don't take sugar, take honey with caution because it will behave like that. So you will be
Okay.
having the medicinal effect of it, but the sugar is still inside it. You understand?
Okay. I now understand.
Yeah, so it's a pure medicine. It cures a lot of disease, cold, this, that. It's medicine to the highest level, but it still contains sugar. So don't, it's like saying, I wanted to say that juicing, when you juice your pineapple versus eating it with the fiber, you understand? So
Yes, ma'am.
do you get my point? It's like this oat that we are talking about, when you blend it, you've removed the fiber. When you take honey, you take it with the medicine, but when you take the white sugar, it does not have effect. It does not have any medicinal effect. So honey is sugar, only that is sugar with plenty medicine. So you have to just weigh it out, but not overdo it.
Thank you, Doctor. My wife
You're
is here
welcome.
smiling.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
ma'am.
You're welcome, sir. Okay, so I think today's class was fun. I love your questions. Thank you so much for listening. I am so sure that this lecture will reduce how far somebody will go for admission. I remember we said that the whole idea of this lecture is to make sure that we keep the hospital beds empty. Nobody, no, we don't, I mean, accidents, malaria, these things can happen, but our lifestyle should reduce how fast we make it into the hospital. So I want to thank you so much for your time and keep saying it as I always say, there's no way you will invest your 1 hour plus once a week and be the same way as somebody who did not invest. Definitely your health will be improved because you know better than them. Okay. Someone said, why is wheat not good? I'll send Glory, remind me, I'll send something on why is wheat not good. It was good before, but because it's genetically modified and the version that is being used is causing a lot of medical condition now. So that is why we are going back to our natural gari, fufu, pounded yam, if we must swallow. Okay. Somebody said, what about semovita? I know that it's a little bit artificially processed. I don't have any bad news on semovita, so I cannot answer anything on semovita. If I do a homework on swallow, I'll come back to you.
Please, before you go, Doc, I have a question, please. I'm
Go
calling
ahead.
for Muma here.
Okay, dear, go ahead.
I took the children to, they're about 6 months, 7 months old. I
Okay.
took them to the health center. They asked me if I put sugar in their pap. I said no. They said I should start adding sugar in their pap. I told them that I add little honey. They said no. Until they get to 1 year, I should be giving them sugar, little.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, I don't understand. But I thought honey is natural and the sugar is synthetic. How? But I just said, okay, since it helps people, let me just obey them. So as a medical doctor, please, ma, could you enlighten me more on this issue? Sugar, honey on 7 months old children, babies.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, ma. Babies that are, you see, like I said, honey is actually what is a sugar with medicine. When the baby is that young, they don't have the organs. Their organs are not strong enough to break down the product of a bee at that age.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Number two, it can contain things like small bacteria. It can contain anything that the body can handle, because it's an animal product that has not been studied on babies. I will give my babies a little sugar, because even the Enfamil and all the baby products on earth, they already have sugar. Like I told you, sugar is good for children. So use that until their organ is strong enough to process those type of things. Then maybe after, in fact, in the US, it's a taboo to give children under 1 years old, 1 year old, because there are some toxins and things that when you're an adult, easily you can fight it off. But never ever give a baby under 1 year old honey, even if they have cough. Don't give them, because you can even kill them faster. Yes, give them sugar. Yes, sugar is good for children. They burn it off. They need it. Yeah. If it wasn't good, why would it be in all the Enfamil? Is in Enfamil. I mean, the Enfamil people are taking Enfamil, cowboy, fine baby boy. Is that? But that honey can kill a baby.
Wow.
Yes.
Doctor,
Thank you,
Sir?
doctor. Yes, sir.
good evening.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Eba and alright plantain flour. Which one is
Thank you,
better?
doc.
And also guinea corn flour.
I will go with unripe plantain flour, followed by guinea corn before Eba,
Okay, thank you.
in that order,
Okay.
but they are all good.
Guinea corn.
Yes, guinea corn is very, very good. But
Okay.
it's not, it doesn't come out smooth like fufu. That's why people are running away from it.
Ah.
Yes.
Ah.
Mm.
I'm
Okay.
even afraid. I don't know which one to eat again.
No, you eat everything sparingly, but remember I told you, eat your meat, eat your soup, and then reduce your carbohydrate, because I found out that our ancestors were farmers, hunters, and gatherers. So as a culture, our carbohydrate culture is already bigger than our current existing lifestyle. So that is why we are not burning those carbohydrates as we used to burn them before. So I usually say in my lectures that what you don't burn can stay back to burn you. So since we are not burning it, we are not going to put it in. Today's lecture is that it's not about swallow and this and that. It's that even with your effort, people are still hiding sugar in things and giving it to you. And you need to know that sugar is very, very available. So please, this is not a lecture to scare anybody. If you eat your meat and vegetable, by the time you do your small rice, it will not show on your blood sugar like that. So just eat, monitor your body, know your levels. Typically 200 grams is much, 40% of your this thing. You understand, but it can be calculated. But just your body will tell you what it needs. Your body will tell you what it needs. So thank you so much for your time. I pray for you that for the fact that you said on this lecture, nothing will happen to you. God will
Amen.
answer all your prayers. Any small
Doctor, I need the
effort,
recorded one. So how do
any
I?
small effort that you make, God will magnify it for you,
Amen.
Amen.
and God will give you good health. And because once you have good health, by God, everything else is balanced. That is how I see it. So I wish you well, and have a good night. And know that I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Good night.
Doctor, how
Thank
do I
you.
get the
I
recorded
love
one?
you, doctor.
Thank you.
Great
We'll
program
send
tonight.
it. We will send it.
Love
We
you.
will send it. All right. Bye bye.